Welcome to another overly stocked episode of Monday Movie Pickup. Couple new things this week. I got the Harryhausen Blu-ray collection. So this is actually a import, and they do have a version of this that was in the States, but it goes for like $100-something at this point. It is, I believe, out of print. And there's a couple different movies between them as well, but I instead got this version, and this actually has everything that I hadn't owned already. I already had 20 Million Miles to Earth. I also had Clash of the Titans already, and so this is basically a lot of the stuff that I hadn't owned yet from Ray Harryhausen. I also have Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Yeah. 20,000... Man, he used the word 20 a lot in his movies. Not that he directed them, but... yeah, so I have like this set which has all the Sinbad films. It's got Jason and the Argonauts, which is the one I was really looking for. It has the Three Worlds of Gulliver, Earth versus the Flying Saucers, which is another Blu-ray that's in the States, sold separately, but also kind of hard to find. But you can get it in this set. It's actually the same disc that's available in the U.S. And then It Came from Beneath the Sea. So there's still a couple Harryhausen films that aren't part of this collection. I don't remember exactly which ones. It's very few, but I had an Instagram post about this, about what else is left. There's some things I can get through, I know, Warner Archive, and I believe Kino. And then, as I had previously said in other videos, I'm trying to collect all the Best Picture winners, and started to go through the older ones, but now I'm picking up on some of the more recent ones, buying them in batches, because a lot of them go for pretty low. Actually, I do have another. So this is from 1948. This is Hamlet, available through the Criterion Collection, only on DVD at the moment. I don't see anything or any plans about a Blu-ray release as of yet. There is a Hamlet Blu-ray, but it is an import, and it won't work on US players. I should mention the Harryhausen Blu-ray set. I tested all the discs. They all work in my American Blu-ray player, so that import is good to go. But this one has an imported Blu-ray that will not work in US Blu-ray players. So I'm going to wait until Criterion releases on Blu-ray. But in the meantime, I did get the DVD because it wasn't going for too much. This is actually an older DVD. It's 2006, so not as many special features on this one as they typically have for a Criterion release. But Criterion release nonetheless. That's maybe why that hasn't been released on Blu-ray yet. They're trying to maybe gather some special features that they could get, or maybe they just don't have the rights to it anymore. I have a bunch of newer ones here. I'm going to just go through them quick because I don't have a lot to say, but Green Book, I actually did a review of this, and I never got the Blu-ray myself, but I finally purchased it because it was for a pretty low price, and yeah, you can just check out my thoughts on that movie in that review. I thought it was okay, but definitely have kind of the same issues that other people have with it. I have Moonlight here, which, La La Land won for about 2 seconds that year, and I liked that movie more, but, I have a review of La La Land, and, I'm not as enamored by that movie as everyone else was. And Moonlight ended up winning instead, and I can totally understand why it did. I only saw this the one time, but I remember thinking it was good for what I saw at the time. I definitely want to return to it. And Spotlight, which I actually rewatched recently, this really has held up. This beat out Mad Max Fury Road for the Oscar, which I don't know if that's fair, just because, Mad Max Fury Road is still on the top of the decades list, and Spotlight, not as much. But this is still a really good movie. I mean, there is a lot to talk about with this one, and, just one of the better journalism movies that are out there. Really showcases the slow pace that journalism takes, and how you really got to take your time with the, with going about it. And then I have Birdman here. Michael Keaton's big return. He had been in movies, for obviously the whole time, but this was the movie that put him back on the spot, and all pretty much shot in one take. Or at least it looks like it is. It's a one-shot full movie, but they do cut it up and spice it up at certain points, and you can noticeably tell, but for the most part, it's meant to have this kind of closer camera angle the entire time, and it's a very interesting movie. I found the Pixar short film collection, number 2, the green one, for a low price at a thrift store, but I ended up finally getting the first one. And then I got the third one as well. Now, a lot of these have been released with different Blu-rays in the past. I probably own a lot of these, but it's kind of nice to just have it on one set. And these went low enough in price where I'm like, okay, I'll probably just buy these now. I think there is a couple on this first one especially that aren't available on any other collections. So this is, I think most of these are pretty much on Disney Plus at this point, but like I said, I waited until they got very low in price and I finally purchased them. I think the third one was only released a couple years ago. It says here 2018, so this is still pretty new, but like I said, I just didn't feel compelled to get it until it went low in price. Along with these, and then getting the Cars Tunes collections, and also the Toy Story collections of, well, not short films, but the movies, and then their TV spin-offs. So these are the specials they did. They did one for Christmas as well. This is the Halloween one, and I did remember watching this on TV when it originally premiered. I haven't seen it again since, but it's fun to own Halloween collections, and like I said, there's these Pixar releases that, you know, not as many people know about, where they're not just the movies being released. There's the short films, there's the Cars Tunes, and then there's this, and the other Toy Story spin-off. So at this point, I should have everything Pixar, besides the newer movies, which I also have Onward here. I did get to see this in theaters. There is a review of this on my YouTube page. I'm probably one of the few people in the country who actually saw it in theaters. But it ended up being released on Disney Plus for free later on, and I remember liking it alright. It wasn't as great as I was hoping for, but it did the job, and I definitely will return to it in the future. It's just, it's not one of, you know, top tier Pixar, you know, films, but, you know, it's gonna happen when you have so many great hits at this point. You know, you kind of compare it to the others, and then, you know, it's almost unfair to judge all the other Pixar films that aren't as good as the majority of them. I gotta get Soul still, but once I have Soul, I'll have everything Pixar on Blu-ray, so definitely we'll do a video about that, since people like to look at my compiled collection videos. I did one for Disney. Now I'll be able to actually do it for Pixar because I own all their one-off Blu-ray releases as well. I also have here some other Disney films, which I kind of talked about already, but yes, the Black Cauldron is on my daily cinephile page the day I got it, and finally released through Disney Movie Club the same day as Valiant. Both of these movies don't have special features except... Oh, that's a lie. This one actually doesn't, but Black Cauldron actually has the same special features that were available on the DVD release in 2009. Unfortunately, there's not the original uncut version of the movie that I was maybe thinking that Disney would possibly do, since they were waiting so long to release this on Blu-ray, but it didn't end up happening, so at this point, I doubt it will ever happen, but it's really cool nonetheless that they finally are finishing up the Disney animated canon. The only other films that have to get a release now are Melody Time and Make My Music. Make My Music also has a cut version out there where it took out one of the segments, but they released Saludos Amigos uncut on Blu-ray through Disney Movie as a Disney Movie exclusive, so possibly we'll also get the full version of Make My Music. That'd be very nice. And like I said, it's just cool as a Disney fan to finally be able to finish the entire set, and it looks like they're going to finally do it, and I'm surprised because they went all of 2020 without any Disney movie exclusives, but maybe they were just getting ready for Disney Plus. And I kind of was wondering if Disney was preparing to slightly abandon Blu-ray, but, you know, to me, the best way to start releasing Blu-rays are like through the online stores, like Warner Archive, Kino, Shout Factory. Disney could do the same with Disney movie exclusives. Even though a lot of them don't have special features, it's still good to kind of own some of these older classics on Blu-ray, but especially the animated films. And then we got ones like Valiant that people don't really remember, but get a Blu-ray release, and I think it's kind of nice. It's good for fans like me anyway. And the prices are actually starting to go down a bit more. It's not as expensive as it was a couple years ago. Still pricey, but they have so many good deals at this point that it makes it kind of worth it. Much more worth it than it was a couple years ago. Hopefully they'll release Make My Music Melody Time. That would make my day. And then just as a random Disney movie that I did buy, yes, The Princess Diaries. A movie I did kind of dig as a kid. And the second one, not as much. It's not good. But I forgot that they had released this as a double pack, and it was about time I upgraded that VHS. The VHS that's not even mine, it's my sister's. But it was about time I finally upgraded. And talking about Warner Archive, I actually have here Driving Miss Daisy. Warner Archive must be releasing a lot more movies than I realized lately, because I didn't hear any announcements about this at all. A lot of movies that I saw no announcements about. They're also releasing Drunken Master 2 on Blu-ray, which hasn't had a Blu-ray release yet, so that was another Warner Archive that I hadn't heard an announcement for. So I realized that the Warner Archive website doesn't sell the Blu-rays anymore. They're actually selling it directly through Amazon. But that's not a bad thing. We're still getting new releases. This had a digibook a couple years ago, but sadly the digibook went out of print, so it was very expensive. But they re-released it on Warner Archive like they've been doing with a lot of their older releases that they did on Blu-ray previously. Now they're re-released in a, much more affordable version with the same special features. I have no thoughts on this movie because I haven't seen it, but again, I should have added this to my Oscar collection that I did earlier, but yeah, this is another Oscar winner that I'm adding, so I got a lot done this month, but this was mostly because I saw it quickly on the Warner Archive website for a pretty good deal for the first week it was out, so I decided to just buy it. And then we're going to finish off tonight with a double feature, Who Killed Captain Alex and Bad Black. So this is Ugandan Cinema. This is a Blu-ray release that is available in the US. It's called the Wakaliwood Super Action Volume 1. If you've never heard of Who Killed Captain Alex, go check out the review done by I Hate Everything. Super interesting movie, and I finally wanted to check it out for myself, and I wanted to get the Blu-ray because it truly looks like one of the craziest, coolest things ever, but also it's kind of cool to get other countries inside this collection, and Uganda. I mean, there isn't much for Ugandan cinema, and if you hear the story of how they made this movie, it's insane. So, very excited to give that a watch, and that was everything this week. It was a bunch, but hope you all enjoyed watching this. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.